Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radios, the Incoherent Ramblings of C&E. Christopher and Eric are your hosts, coming to you live from Greensboro, North Carolina, as we do every Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Our intro music is provided from the Podshow PodSafe Music Network. Check it out at music.podshow.com. Also, feel free to email your topics for discussion, suggestions, and comments to incoherentramblings@live.com.
This is Christopher.
This is Eric.
It is March the 11th, 2010, broadcasting live from the internationally famous C&E studios. How are you, Eric?
Fantastic. And yourself, Chris?
I'm doing pretty well. You know, we are almost at a milestone of 1,000 listens.
No.
967, as a matter of fact.
Oh, that's it.
So, with the throng of listeners that we have, we'll probably, just go right past it.
Soar past that.
Soar past that today. And probably already past it right now. So,
absolutely. That's pretty good for two shows.
Oh, boy. So here we are. It's a kind of a dreary day outside. We've got a slow-moving front.
Yes. Sometimes it's going to be pouring rain and sometimes nothing.
Right.
We've got one lone tailgater out there.
Yes. One person by themselves.
Yeah. That's
So,
dedication.
Yes, it is. Well, they have one of those portable gazebos. So.
Stuck in the 70s is back with us.
Yes. Yeah. Good evening to you, Stuck in the 70s. Hope you're doing well. They're in Great Britain.
If someone were to call in, how would they reach us?
Well, they could reach us at 646-716-6928. And they could also go to blogtalkradio.com/incoherent ramblings and find out the many different ways to connect with us electronically.
Yes. I've yet to tweet.
No.
But we do have a Twitter account.
You're following us on Twitter, though.
I finally opened an account,
Yeah.
but I've never tweeted anybody.
Yeah.
I can't remember why I did that.
I guess
I know why. Because there was a gentleman that was running my guest house that was occasionally helped me work on my house and didn't have a phone or internet at the time. So he didn't have phone or email at the time. But I knew, he had email, but he rarely checked it. But he always watched Twitter constantly. I don't know, he was a Twitter addict or something. So I opened up a Twitter account because I was going to Twitter him to come meet me. And then he showed up without my Twitter account. So,
gotcha.
Find more information about Twitter, believe me.
The only reason why we have it is because of the show. Yes. And it's, along with Facebook, uber popular, so it seemed like the way to go.
Yes.
So, we've got some interesting stories today.
I actually came prepared with a few today.
You have some stories?
And some good news stories, which we have had a lull.
Yes. Yes, we have had a lull in good news. But we have good news stories.
Mm-hmm.
We have some odd stories.
Yeah.
We have some amusing stories.
Yeah.
We even have a listener-submitted story that is funny. It would be even funnier if you could actually see the email.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, it listener-submitted, and it made us both laugh quite a bit, quite entertaining. So,
if we had a hover around story, we'd have it all.
We would. It would be because we have drunkenness.
Yes.
We have criminal weirdness.
Uh-huh.
We have some good news. Yeah, hover around would just tie it all together. It really would. But alas, we don't. But we can give them a quick shout out. Yes, we could.
Hey, Bernice and Joy, tell everyone which power wheelchair got you to the Grand Canyon.
I'm around. Now I'm free to see the world.
And with hover around, you truly are free to see the world.
I saw some on eBay the other day.
Did you?
Uh-huh. I don't know why. Because they're always on my mind. Just curious.
Yes. I think about them a lot too. I saw one. it was not the Hover Around brand, so I'm not going to mention it because, we would want to besmirch our, unofficial, official sponsor. But I saw an advertisement on TV for one, and it was, I think it was meant for like late night, and somehow it got on prime time because, you could just tell it wasn't the same quality.
Right.
And it was very amusing and unintentionally funny.
I was headed to the Sprint store, which is over there near Wendover. It was Alpha Wendover.
Mm-hmm.
And right at the where Costco is,
Mm-hmm.
it's a big intersection. I don't know how many lanes Wendover is, but it's
At that point,
at least 6 at that
there's-
point, isn't it?
it's 7. Well, one dumps off into Costco, but it is 6 full lanes. That's plus 2 turning lanes.
There was a gentleman on a mobility scooter crossing the street right there. And I was hoping that he'd make it in time. They didn't have a top speed of 8 miles an hour. I don't think he would quite reach that.
Right.
So,
Is it the same one that rides up and down Brickert Parkway?
I don't know.
Because that guy has a death wish.
This gentleman was extremely heavy set.
Oh, no. This guy is not.
I don't know if hover rounds or mobility scooters have a weight limit,
Okay.
but he had to be pushing it.
Yeah, you're pushing it. Approaching the weight limit.
He was. He had to be. He needs like a tank or something.
Well, there's a guy on Brickert Parkway. I've seen him many times. And he, for some reason, maybe it's out of necessity, seems to prefer riding when it's dark. And his mobility scooter is black all over. And he usually is wearing dark blue or black clothing. And he has no sort of reflective material anywhere else. And there's no sidewalk. And he will drive right down Bridgeford at nighttime. And it scares me for him. I don't understand why he does that. But like I said, maybe it's out in the... I have seen him in the daytime, but I've seen him more often at night. So...
we should have a fundraiser.
We should
get one of those like blue light special lights
right
on his
right,
on his
and some reflective, like they have that like Velcro kind of stuff. You can like stick it on there so you can just transfer from clothing to clothing.
Mm-hmm.
You can have some reflective gear.
I'd like to get like the Kmart blue light special light that.
Right.
Get that over his head.
I'm sure he would appreciate that. We'll get started on that fundraiser right away.
People drive down Bridgeville Parkway and pulling over.
He would get ticketed for impersonating an officer.
Not our intention.
No. Nothing but good intentions here.
We can create our own hover around story.
We can't find one.
We'll fund one.
We'll fund one. Get him intoxicated, and then send him down Bridgeford with the blue light.
Yeah.
And then it's a pretty much perfect story.
It is.
Whatever the outcome is. So, you have good news.
I do have some good news.
But I mean, for your house, your abode.
I'm officially moved in.
Yes.
It's not done.
No, but
First floor is pretty close to done.
A lot closer to done than it was before you bought it.
Oh yeah. But if I can get the basement done, then not this weekend, but next weekend, if you're available, I would like to get your assistance in moving a few more.
Next weekend? Okay.
Yeah.
I can
Not
do
this
that.
weekend, but the following.
Right. I can do that.
Dave's going to help us get Jerry's trailer again.
Okay. Excellent. And the house looks great.
It is. I think I'm pleased.
Mm-hmm.
I feel blessed. It's I hung pictures today.
Mm-hmm.
Picture frames out and little finishing touches and stuff.
Cool.
So other than now, I got to unpack the kitchen, but everything else it's looking good. We won't bore our listeners, but it's looking good. Good news. Let's see. I found a good news story to start off with. Skydiver with tangled chute plunges 3,000 feet and survives. A skydiver miraculously survived after plummeting 3,000 feet to the ground when her parachute became tangled. Larice Butler escaped with bruises, a broken leg, and a concussion after slamming to the ground in South Africa. The mom of one leaped from the plane with a parachute that opened automatically, but it suffered problems within seconds of exiting the aircraft. Her boyfriend watched on the ground in horror as she spiraled downward before crashing into a field on Saturday. Skydive manager said that the novice jumper was very lucky to be alive. It should have all run smoothly, but she exited the plane in an unusual and unstable position. Oh, sure, blame the victim. This caused the parachute lead to become entangled. Although the parachute did partially inflate, it was rotating and became more entangled as she dropped. She had been trained to use an emergency procedure, but unfortunately she did not, and instead fell towards the ground. I think she had like
towards sudden death.
Yes, I think she'd had like one or two jumps before that point.
Oh, I thought you were going to say drinks.
She was 26. She was on the training course. She remains in intensive care where doctors say she's in stable condition. And the doctor said it was nothing but divine intervention, nothing short of miracle.
Yeah, I was going to say she's not lucky. She's. I think she had a little divine intervention there.
Absolutely.
I've heard about that. I've seen on TV some specials about people that have survived, and this one guy fell, and his parachute never deployed at all. I mean, he had no resistance, and he landed, and he had, I don't even remember, but a bunch of broken bones, right? Concussion, but he lived. Not only did he live, he didn't have any paralysis. It was just mind-boggling. I mean, he's like, it's not that I was an atheist or anything. He was like, but I didn't really give much credence to a higher power. He goes, but after this, he's like, I'd be kind of stupid not to say I believe. He's like, because, how can you fall 10,000 feet, 8,000 feet, whatever? I mean, people die falling from one story, right? If you hit your head just right. Right. You've seen people die falling from their feet.
Yeah, tripping, hit their head on the corner of a table.
And they die.
Yeah.
And here's someone falling, from thousands of feet, and they don't die. So amazing.
Really. I saw where one guy lived, and they had video of it, and he literally bounced off the ground.
Yes. Yeah. They have yes, that's the one. I think that's the one I'm talking about, because they have video, and it really was disturbing to watch.
Of course, I saw a face-to-death video once where somebody died.
Right.
That was disturbing.
Yeah. Those were staged.
Oh, were they?
Yeah. Oh, did I ruin it for you? I think you're like, were they really? It's like the horror, a wrestling version of horror. Yeah, it's kind of staged. Still gruesome.
It was.
An interesting thing on the skydiving, I am fairly certain that, people always say the safest form of travel is by air.
Uh-huh.
And the statistics prove it. You can't argue it.
Right.
It is, based on percentages. So if you have a car wreck, 1, 2, 5 people die. If you have a plane wreck, 50, 100, 200 die. 300. But statistically, percentage-wise, it is the safest. So I guarantee you, I don't have any hard facts on this. It's just what I'm guessing. But I am fairly certain that I could guarantee if you took all of the actual skydives and then how many resulted in death, I bet the percentage would even be safer than air travel by plane.
I don't know, because you look at...
people are skydiving left and right, though.
I realize that. And in fact, when I was down in... remember last year, not last year, year before last, I did the bridge jump. I whitewater rafted on Bridge Day in West Virginia, mm-hmm. And that's where they base jump off the actual huge bridge they have there. And they were like, they must have jumped thousands and thousands of times, because it was all day long, and it was like one after another with no stopping, no lull. It was amazing. In Washington, in fact, I saw one guy who didn't open, threw up the emergency chute, which just broke his fall just enough as he hit the water, right when I was coming in, too.
Right.
It scared me to death. But, I don't know. But the reason I'm going to say that I don't know that your theory is correct is because when I used to sell insurance, one of the questions they asked is if you participate in skydiving. So if it was so safe, why would they have a clause in there where they increase your rate if you're
because they can?
Yeah, which they can for lots of things.
Right. Well, but I'm saying it's considered
They must assume it's a higher risk.
Right. Well, it is a higher risk because you can't have your chute not open and fall to the ground and die if you're not skydiving. So, I mean, it's a higher risk all the way around. It's just, even if it isn't as safe as flying, it's still, I guarantee you the percentage is not that. I mean, more people live than die, or else you would, hear about it. It's just, the point I was getting at is I have no desire to do it, ever.
I wouldn't mind trying it once.
But the one time I did it would be the time it didn't open. And I don't want to be that guy. I'm not, people always say, you don't know if you would like it or not. I know that I wouldn't because I don't like heights.
Right.
I don't like not
flying.
being in
You don't
control.
like flying.
I don't like
you know
flying.
how safe it is. You don't like to fly.
I don't like to fly. I don't like, I probably wouldn't mind flying if I was the one piloting the plane. But that guy has, been drinking gin all night on his way back from Heathrow. And I don't trust him. I don't trust him. I want to fly the plane. But yeah, I have no, there are many, 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 many things in this world that I have done, and things that I haven't done that I know that I want, that I know for certain would provide me with a massive amount of joy and entertainment. And that's why I don't need to do it. So, even though I'm sure it's safe, it's not something I'm interested in. But do you have more good news for us?
I do. A once homeless man, now a lottery winner. 37-year-old Boise insurance agent who at one time lived in a homeless shelter has won $250,000 in the Idaho lottery. I guess it wasn't, huge. But $250,000.
No, I wouldn't turn it down.
That's life-changing to me. Anthony Castro won the money playing a scratch ticket that he bought at Jackson's food store in Boise. Castro says he has donated some of his winnings to his church, plans to set up a trust account for his daughter, and will invest and bank the rest. Sounds like he's learning a little bit from living on the street.
Absolutely.
He is moving to Portland soon to start a new job. Castro says he grew up in New York, survived a gunshot wound to the head at age 19, moved to Idaho after September 11th terrorist attack, and he lived in a homeless shelter for a time until he got on his feet financially.
Well, he sounds like a survivor all the way around.
Yeah.
Good for him. Fidel's younger nephew, I believe, is Anthony. I think. Is it? I believe so. I'm sure it's not the same person.
I'm sure not.
Well, Antonio. I don't know. Anyhow, that is a good story. Not as good as the two homeless brothers that lived in a cave.
Right.
That inherited billions of dollars.
No, hard to top that. I'm not sure we'll ever top that.
I don't know if we will. I hear they decorated their cave quite nicely. They have electricity. They have a hot tub, gold-plated hot tub, and they are having an actual toilet installed next week. So they are really living the high life. Well, should we go into our Amazing Grace story?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. You want to do it?
No, you do it.
Well, this is about a lady who was 100 years old. And she lived through the Great Depression, so she knew how to save money and how to do them next to nothing. And apparently, she decided to keep doing that. Much like my late grandmother, she wasn't that wealthy, but she lived on next to nothing when she didn't have to.
Right.
Apparently, this lady was doing the same thing, and she left her alma mater, Lake Forest College, $7 million. The president was pretty much stunned. She found ways to save her money. She shopped for clothes at rummage sales and walked places instead of buying a car. She did not have the material that she needs that other people have.
And lived in a sparsely furnished one-bedroom house.
Yes, exactly. And her friends were true friends because they weren't friends for just what she had. She worked for a company called Abbott Laboratories, as a secretary for 43 years. And she didn't feel that she needed to live lavishly, although she did splurge occasionally. The source of her wealth, turns out, emanates from a $180 stock purchase she made in 1935. She consistently reinvested her earnings and grew the purchase into a $7 million fortune. The money will help about 1,300 Lake Forest students pursue internships and study abroad programs they would not have had a chance to take without her hefty donation. Aside from the donation, she also left a small house to the college, which will the scholarship winners who benefited from her donation will also be able to take advantage of that. So good for her. And you see these things on the internet and these emails and people saying, buy this stock and just leave it. But I mean, of course, this was in 1935, but she bought $180 worth of stock. And 75 years later, it was worth $7 million.
Right.
That's pretty impressive.
That is impressive. She chose wisely.
Yes, she did. I wish they would have told us what she bought.
No doubt.
So good for Grace Groner.
She should have wrote a book on how to invest $180.
Right. Oh, man. So, hit us up with another guy. I know you got some more good news.
I do. I got a guy by the name Drew Johnson.
Oh, Drew Johnson.
You know Drew.
Yes.
He's a 30-year-old web designer from Idaho.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Another
story from Idaho.
Idahoan.
Yeah.
So, he had an epiphany one morning in the shower.
Wow.
He said he's going to travel the country volunteering. He'd work in one state per week for 48 weeks. Thus, his 48 by 48 project was born.
So is he anti-Hawaii and Alaska?
I don't know what his...
Or he just wants to stick to the continental? Okay.
I guess. I don't know. Johnson, an ordained minister, has already been through 18 states and has volunteered for the Salvation Army, Habitat for Humanity, and Open Arms, an organization in Minnesota that delivers meals to people. Wow. Let's see. Even with his own business, Johnson relies on donations to keep his projects running. He's blogging about his journey on his website, where donors can also go to contribute. One of Johnson's goals is to promote what he calls the service to others lifestyle to help connect local organizations in need with people willing to give their time. So,
good for him. Apparently felt led to do that and making a difference.
Yep. We have a hero story, don't you?
Yes, I do. I wish we had audio. I did not know about this audio.
There is audio.
Unfortunately, we do not have that.
We'll tease you with it, though.
We'll tease you with it. You might want to go listen to it.
Yep.
This is about a 7-year-old who saves his family, and along with the help of the 911 dispatcher. As he's thanking the Los Angeles County Sheriff's dispatcher who took his dramatic phone call, the 7-year-old hero who locked himself and his sister in a bathroom and called 911 when armed robbers invaded his home, explained how he knew what to do in such a terrifying situation. His mom makes him rehearse what to do in an emergency. So it's good parental training there.
Yes.
We practice it every day, he said at the press conference. He was introduced only as Carlos. His last name was not revealed because the 3 men who broke into his Norwalk, California home are still at large. Wearing a Los Angeles Sheriff's baseball cap, Carlos was cool while talking about his ordeal. The dispatcher who handled his call, Monique Patino, was the one who got emotional while recounting the dramatic call. According to reports, 3 armed men burst into his home after his sister went out to the car to retrieve her lunchbox and left the house door open when she returned. When the gunman confronted Carlos' parents and held them at gunpoint, the quick-thinking Carlos took his sister and a phone to the bathroom and locked the door, dialed 911. And here's a quote. When it was asked, state your emergency, he says, there's some guys that are going to kill my mom and dad. Can you come, please? He was scared. The terror was evident in his voice, but he was also collected and coherent, stating his situation and concisely answering the questions.
Politely, actually.
Yes.
Please.
Please. She says, take a deep breath. I have officers coming. I knew something was wrong. I knew it wasn't a prank call. I went with my instinct. I already had deputies going right within the first 2 seconds of the call. Later, Patina, who has 2 young children of her own, would dab at a stray tear after recalling the call. Just hearing them screaming and crying for help, I just felt the fear through the phone. I had to take a walk and shake it off a little bit. It goes on to say, if not for the brave and educated actions of the 7-year-old boy, this might have ended tragically. I'm still astounded by his mindset, says Sergeant Douglas Jensen, to be able to think about getting his sister, grabbing his phone, locking himself in the bathroom and dialing 911. It shows so much. Basically, that's all the story.
You know, the story that I printed out the same story. And in it says that while he was in the bathroom calling 911, he begged the dispatcher to bring cops, a lot of them, and bring soldiers too.
Oh, that's great. So some quick thinking.
Absolutely.
By a young man who more than likely at least saved maybe some harm, if not the lives of his parents. So good deal for young Carlos. I think you do you have any more good?
I got one more good story.
Okay, go with that. Then we have a sheep story.
Vet to bike across the country for homeless. He's still in need of some sponsors and doesn't have a support team, but that's not stopping 54-year-old Vietnam veteran Jerry Nelson from bicycling across the country to raise money for homeless vets. Nelson will begin a 2,000-mile-plus journey from Asheville, North Carolina, to California on March 19th, day after my birthday. The professional photographer and homeless advocate hopes to raise $10,000 for the Asheville Homeless Network, which says it's the nation's only organization made up of homeless people aimed at helping the homeless.
I mean, I'm not trying to be rude, but couldn't he just go to Wilmington and start from there?
I know. Then it would really be.
Then it would be, coast to coast. I mean, I try to bring the good news story now. Seems like he's being just a little selfish, don't you think?
I tell you, it's just like being a little lazy, in my opinion. If you're going
to do it, go all the way.
Right. Nelson, who served in the Navy from 1972 to 1984,
well, there you go.
Credits the Veterans Administration with providing the resources, so he never went homeless.
There you go. Navy, that explains it.
You scared of the water? He's completed a similar ride in 2008 to benefit the National Coalition of Homeless Veterans. A local cycle shop has built Nelson a bike for the trip. And another group bought him a tent and a sleeping bag. He still needs more supplies, including cigarettes, which he'll be smoking as he makes the 6-week trip.
Well, he's got his priorities in order.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Maybe he could raise money to buy cigarettes for homeless people.
That would be a good cause.
That would be a good cause.
I wonder if he'd come through Winston, is he?
I think perhaps smoking will hinder his bike ride efforts. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm thinking. But well, good for him.
Yes, he started in the right place. There's his lungs.
Those lungs aren't. Have you ever? Okay, I was in a theater in New York City. It was actually in Manhattan, and there was it was a James Bond movie. I don't remember the name of it. They all run together to me. But there was a lady that was there with 2 men. She was there with 2 men, and she was on the phone off and on. And she finally got on the phone and stayed on the phone for a good 15 minutes. And I finally got up and went and got the manager, who came in, and he didn't even tell her to hang up. He just asked her to leave. And she started yelling and screaming at him in something that was definitely not English. And and me and my coworkers were up on a business trip. We were kind of scared because they were like, they made the correlation, with me leaving, coming back, and the two gentlemen she was with were quite scary looking. Fortunately, he went and got security. There was a cop outside the theater. They were escorted out, but we kind of were more hyper aware of our surroundings when we left because people are crazy.
Right.
Well, here comes a story. It was a similar type story from California. Authorities say a man was stabbed in the neck with a meat thermometer after asking a woman to silence her cell phone during a screening of Shutter Island. My question is, before I go on with the story, who carries around a meat thermometer with them when they go to a movie? Maybe she was a chef. I don't.
Maybe they had just shopped it.
Maybe they just bought it. Yeah, maybe they just bought it and just said, I need to stab someone, and what? Oh, here's a meat thermometer. I don't know. Los Angeles County Sheriff's spokesman says the stabbing happened February 27th during a screening of Martin Scorsese's film. Two suspects remain at large. The victim had complained about a woman sitting nearby who was talking on her phone during the movie. Says she left with two men, but then returned minutes later and stabbed him in the neck.
Oh, the woman did it.
Yeah. Two other people in the theater came to the victim's aid and also were hurt. So they came to help the guy, and apparently they were stabbed also. Lord. Officers knew that the weapon was a meat thermometer because they left it behind. So,
maybe they left to get a meat thermometer.
Bought it just to stab me. That was the quickest thing they did.
Premeditated
Meat thermometer stabbing.
Yes.
From Lancaster, California. I just thought that was kind of odd. Not a knife, not maybe a fingernail file that she may have in there, or a key, but a meat thermometer.
Well, the fact that she left and came back, maybe that explains it.
Yeah.
Maybe she went to the meat thermometer store, which is right next to the theaters. It said, "Quick, I need a meat thermometer." Or maybe she carries one for protection.
Right. Maybe that is her
instead of mace.
Self-defense of choice.
Yes. She carries a meat thermometer.
I don't know.
Speaking of rude people, I was at Walmart, which I despise.
I'm sorry.
And Megan and I went. It was early in the morning. I think it was Sunday morning. Because I figured, well, if I go early, maybe it won't be as busy.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get a couple things for the new house, get it set up. And so we went. We picked up like 11 items. And we're going to check out, and they have the 20 item or less line. And we're in that line, and Megan notices the sign, 20 items or less. And so she counts, and we're under. And she goes, "Daddy," she said, you can only go through this line if you have 20 items. I said, "I know." So she counted them. And then she noticed the lady in front of us had like a cart full, brimming with them.
Right.
And she goes, "Daddy, she has more than 20 items."
Right.
And I said, "Well, maybe she hasn't read the sign yet." She doesn't know. And so she gets up there. I didn't know if the lady heard us talking about her or not.
Right.
Older lady, and you can tell that she wasn't very pleasant.
Right.
And we get up there. There's also like 3 or 4 people behind us. And the lady checking us out told the lady, "I'm sorry, I can't check you out. You have more than 20 items." And she said, "Well, the other lines are like way backed up, and I'm in a hurry." And she said, "Well, I'm sorry, ma'am, I can't check you out. You have more than 20 items. It's a 20 item or less line." And she says, "Well, you're just being very rude to me." I've never been talked to so rudely. And the lady was very politely just telling her,
right.
She had to follow rules.
Right, it's a matter of fact.
Right. I'm sorry. And she points to the sign again. And she says, "Well, the other lines are just way backed up." And honestly, I looked down the road, down the aisles. They weren't all that backed up. I just came to this side of the Walmart because the other side is for food.
Mm-hmm.
This side, is closer to the household items or what normal items, and that's what we had purchased.
Right.
And she was just going off on me. She's, "I've never been treated so rudely before in my life." And she's like, "Well, I'm sorry, this wouldn't be fair to the people behind you. I'm not going to check you out. You're going to have to move to another line."
Well, good for her.
And she didn't. And I get up there, and she said, "Well," and she says, "Some people," and I said, "Well, we appreciate what you did." So
yes, I'm glad she stuck her ground there, and she should have been supported if management got involved as well, because the sign says 20 items or less.
Right. That woman huffed off. And I was thankful that you did it.
Right. At the Harris Teeter where they have the
Self-checkout?
Self-checkout. There are, and I was telling someone else, and they said I should be more patient because they are older people.
Right.
But I don't have any patience with it.
Right.
They will go to the self-checkout and make the attendee that's, sitting there to help people, like if the machine messes up or whatever, do the entire checkout for them. Do all the scanning, do the paying and everything. Just like if they were not in the self-checkout lane.
Right.
And I have no patience for that because usually they're about 180 years old, slow as molasses, and have a cart full of stuff. Right. And it will take, there was this one lady there, she was checking out when I got to the store. She was still checking out when I left. And it doesn't say 20 items or less. However, and I've gone through there when it hasn't been busy, like when all four are open with like 30 or 40 items. But also, I can do that in the amount of time that it takes, like some people, 3 or 4 items.
Right.
I'm really accustomed to it. But it's just like, and it's like it irritates me because they're trying to pull off the I'm a sweet old lady card. Right. And it really irritates me because they're not sweet old lady. They're being belligerent and rude. Yeah. And I wish the people at Harris Teeter would say, I'm sorry, this is, as the sign says, the self-checkout.
Well, speaking of self-checkout at Harris Teeter, what irritates me about that self-checkout at Harris Teeter, they only turn those units on when there is an attendant there to help.
Right.
So if you go late at night, like one of these 24-hour things, or early in the morning, when there's only like one other register open, you'd think that you only have one register open. That time of day it would be busy, but other people do shop at that time, and there's often times where there's 3 or 4 people backed up. I'd like to go to the self-checkout line and be able to do it.
My Harris Teeter doesn't do that. It's all, if the store is open, the U-scan is open.
Have you been there late at night or early in the morning?
Oh yeah. I've never had that issue.
Oh yeah.
I've been through it when there hasn't been an attendant there.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I don't do that.
Yeah. Well, you should talk and tell them to talk to Calvin. Calvin can give them some pointers. He's the manager of my store.
That's right.
Lowe's, their self-checkout does not require any attendance.
Right.
So
I've made the mistake there once where I went through it and then had an item from the clearance. I had to get some later. Anyway.
Well, I've already used 2 of your stories, so why don't you go with this one right here?
What's that?
About the robber who is not very efficient. The inefficient robber.
The inefficient robber?
Yeah.
We're talking about an armed robber who held up 11 customers at a market in Riverside County on Tuesday. And how much money did she get? $6.
$6.
A whopping $6. That's right, with no zeros. $6 from 11 people. A woman entered the La Chicanita market in the unincorporated town of East Thermal about 3 p.m. on Tuesday, according to the Riverside Deputy. She was armed with a semi-automatic pistol. She confronted 10 customers inside the store, demanded cash, brandished her weapon at another patron who was entering the store. After shaking down the crowd for a grand total of $6, the robber fled the scene in an old 2-door car described as black with white spots.
The polka dot bandit.
The Dalmatian bandit. No one was injured in the robbery. I guess they haven't caught her yet.
I thought that was funny.
Yes. You told me the quote you had. Crime doesn't pay.
Crime
does pay.
Crime does pay, but not very much. Well, because, apparently she didn't rob the store. Right. So surely they would have more than $6 in the register, I would think.
Yep. They should have staked out the dollar menus.
Yeah, just down the street, she was going to the Taco Bell, going crazy. She's like, I'll have as many 59-cent tacos as $6 will buy.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Taco Bell, speaking of Taco Bell, had that box that rocks deal. Did you see that?
I have not had that yet, but it is appealing.
It's gone.
is gone.
They must have lasted like a week because I saw that, went and got one, and went back the next week, and they wouldn't have them anymore.
But I still see Charles Barkley spilling it on TV.
Well, then they're not selling them anymore at that Taco Bell over on West Market Street.
Huh.
It was a sweet deal.
Well, if you were to buy each of the things individually, it would have been well over $5.
Oh yeah, like I asked them because I had somebody working on my house. I said, "What do you want for lunch?" He said, "Let's get those $5 deals." And I said, "Okay." Left him at the house, went to get it, and they didn't have any more. I didn't know what to get them then.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, "Well, what is everything that was in the box? How much did that come up to?" And they without the drinks, they had drink to the house. They said $6.79 without the drinks. So you figure the drink was at least $1.
Right.
So
pretty good deal. But even $6.79, that's not too bad because you weren't getting the drink too.
Right. So it would have been $7.79 with the drink.
Right.
So.
I do like Taco Bell. Have you had one of those? I don't know what the name of it is, but it has cheese in between two layers and then beef on the inside.
With the hard shell taco wrapped with cheese. And then
No. This is like a taco with a smaller burrito or taco shell, but soft, with their beef and bean mixture. I get them to leave the beans out, and then they take one of the big burrito wraps and smear cheese all over it, and then put that smaller one in there, and then they roll it all up.
I've not had that.
It's pretty amazing.
Huh.
Especially when it's real late at night and when you shouldn't be eating it, it's even more amazing.
Why is it bad with the beans?
Oh, I don't care for their beans. No. I like beans, but I just don't want them on there. That's it. Yeah. Put some fire sauce on it, and
Well, one of the things inside that box that Rock's deal they had was this crunchy gordita thing, which I had never ordered before. And it's kind of like a hard shell taco with cheese on the outside of it, wrapped in a soft. It's not really a soft taco because it's gordita, which is thick.
Oh, the gordita, I call it
like
a pancake.
It's like a puffed up.
Like a pita.
Like a pita.
But not
as filling.
It doesn't taste like that. Yeah. Right. Yeah, I've had the gordita.
That was good.
Gordita.
Make a run for the border.
Now you got me thinking about Taco Bell. I'm the one that brought it up. Wait a second.
Well, my favorite thing they had, I don't have on the menu anymore, and that was their chili cheese burrito. They don't make those anymore.
Well, they've had several iterations. They've had they had one that was called the Enchilito, which was similar, and then there for a while they had it like years and years and years ago.
Right.
It wasn't called a chili cheese burrito. I forget what they called it, but yeah, you're right. It was just the bread and then cheese and the meat wrapped up, and it was really good. It was just a good combination.
Right.
I like the beef Mexi melt, and the reason why I like it is because it's nothing special. It's just the way it's just a regular taco, but no lettuce, and they put it in the heater to melt it, and then they have pico in there, and I really really like the combination of everything's hot with the cold tomatoes. I don't know, it's just really good.
I like their Mexi melts, but they're way too expensive, so I never get them.
Yeah.
The Mexican pizzas, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Mexican pizzas.
Mexi pita or what? Mexican pizza, whatever it is. It's good, but way too expensive, so I rarely ever get it.
Right. I'm very hungry now. Well, I was hungry before, but now I'm ready to eat. Tonight we're going to Shane's.
I got coupons.
Give them a little plug. We have coupons. Shane's Barbecue Shack, or whatever the name of it is.
Rib Shack.
Shane's Rib Shack.
But I like their barbecue more than the ribs. I've never had the ribs, so I don't know.
You know that one meal that I got that one time, and I haven't got it since? I think I'm getting that tonight.
Is that the rib deal?
Yeah.
Is that the sampler thing?
Yeah. It's like $5 more. Well, actually, I think $6 more than what we usually get. However, it's a lot of. I mean, I said I want to have a hard time finishing this. You get like choice of 3 meats. I think I got the chopped barbecue, chicken, and then ribs, and then I had fries and beans, and it was really good. And even though I probably don't need that much, I'm really hungry, so that's why I'm probably going to order it.
I'm going to get the free Big Daddy, but I figured I'd take it home as a...
You know, we split that one time. Do you remember when we both got that and we just both got water?
Yeah.
And we ate, the two of us ate for $6. It was $5.99.
Yep.
And so $3 a piece. And I don't know how much that was, but it was a very large amount of meat.
Yes.
It was good.
And I like their bread.
Yes.
And that's one of my favorite things on the meal that I get, the chopped plate that I get. That's where I get 2 pieces of.
Right.
I probably don't get as much meat.
Right.
But
still a nice helping.
Yeah, still a
and my weakness is fries. And I really do like their fries. I will not go to a restaurant specifically if I don't like their fries, if I like everything else. And their fries are really good. So we have 15 minutes before we're done the show here. And we know we're ordering. We already know we're going to order. And we're meeting.
We're well prepared.
We will be meeting someone is going to meet us there for the after show.
Yep. Which I've never met, actually.
You've never met?
I've heard you talk about him many, many, many a times. And
Right.
I've had the chance to meet him once or twice before.
Right.
And have not been able to, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. He's going to be there tonight. He does listen to the show from time to time.
Does he there, listeners? Play your cards right, and sometimes we'll leave with you.
Exactly. Send us a story or two. Tell us we do a good job. You might get a chance to
lie to us and
rub shoulders.
Our egos.
Yeah, rub shoulders with a celebrity.
There you go. I have another good story.
Go for it.
Okay. This is a dumbass school official story.
Okay.
So,
this is our sheep award.
This definitely deserves a sheep. Did we do the sheep last time for whoever that was?
I believe we did. Or, yes.
Did you play the sheep?
Today?
Yeah.
No.
Well, you said you had a sheep story after this.
Yeah, this one.
This one? Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is the sheep story.
Okay, this is the sheep story. It seems to me that it may be a good time to give all school officials a course of remedial thinking. Here's an absolutely ridiculous case where a student was suspended from school after turning down drugs from another student. The parents of a Kentuckian 7th graders students say that their young daughter was suspended from school for doing exactly what she's been taught to do for years, just say no to drugs. The girl did not bring the prescription drugs to her school, nor did she take it, but she admits that she touched it, and that is in violation of the school's drug possession rules. Here are the details. Rachel Greer said it happened on February 23rd during 5th grade period gym class. She walked into the school's locker room and was handed a bag of pills. She was talking to another girl, and they put the pills in her hand, and I was like, I don't want this. So I put the bag back in her hands, and I went to gym class. The pills were a prescription for ADHD drug, Adderall. Said her mother and father were proud of her daughter for turning down the drugs, just like she's been taught by the DARE drug abuse resistance education instructors at school. She's proud that her conscience kicked in. She says, "No, I'm not taking this. Here, you can have it." But just saying it did not get her out of trouble. During the next period, an assistant principal came and took Rachel out of class. It turned out the girl who originally had the pills and a few other students got caught. That's when the assistant principal gave Rachel a decision. We're suspending you for 5 days because it was in your hand. After hearing the news, Patty Greer went to the school officials. He said that she wrote it down on a witness statement, and she said she told the truth. She said that she was very, very honest, and she said she was sorry that she had to do it, but it was school policy. According to the Greater Clark County Schools district policy, even a touch equals drug possession and a 1-week suspension.
Wow. That's sheer stupidity.
Yeah. The fact of the matter, there was drugs on school campus, and it was handled so there was a violation of our policy. It was handled so there was a violation of our policy. If someone could or should take them seriously. Now they hear. District court say they're strict about drug policy. No one will. They say they're so strict about the drug policy, no one will take them seriously. Anyway, that's pretty much it. He was basically suspended for what they were taught to do for years, just say no to drugs.
Obviously, and you know what's so funny about that to me? They're going by the letter of the law.
Right.
They don't do that on everything.
Nope.
So that's just pure stupidity. There's no other way to describe that.
That irritated me.
I have a story about someone who's breaking the law. Would you like to hear it?
Tell me.
So it's probably a superhero. That's what I'm thinking. It's from West Cape May, New Jersey.
Uh-huh.
Known as the Midnight Knitter. I'm pretty sure it's a superhero, an elderly woman superhero is what I'm thinking.
Yes.
Someone is spinning quite a yarn over a New Jersey shore town. An unknown person dubbed the Midnight Knitter by West Cape May residents is covering tree branches and lamp poles with little sweaters under the cover of darkness. Mayor Pam...
Oh, dastardly.
Yeah, it's horrible. The mayor says police are looking into the guerrilla needlework, which technically is against the law because it is being done on public property without permission. The mayor and many residents admit they're enthralled by the rainbow of colors that has popped up. One resident goes on walks each morning where several tree branches and light poles have gotten the treatment. She thinks it's great. Even those that aren't thrilled admit the yarn is better than spray-painted graffiti. So someone is knitting little sweaters and putting them...
I wonder what size they are. I wonder if she's doing it with the homeless.
We say, what if it could be it could be your guy that's going to ride from Asheville to California.
It could be anybody.
Doing it for the homeless.
Doing it for the homeless.
Yes.
What if they find out later that her intentions were good?
But the fact that she touched the sweaters means she gets 5 days in prison.
Yeah.
You know, actually, the equivalent to that story would have been if they find someone taking the sweaters down.
Right.
Cleaning up the graffiti. It'd be like someone spray painting over graffiti.
Someone saying no to graffiti.
They went and asked us at downtown, what color of paint? Give me the brand and the color that you use to paint over graffiti. There's something vulgar in my neighborhood.
Right.
And then the police officer comes by and gives him 5 days in jail for covering up the graffiti. That's how stupid your story was for the people in the girls. Yes. So the Midnight Knitter.
Well, I hope she goes uncaught.
Yes.
The Midnight Knitter. I wonder if she likes her name.
I don't know. We don't know it's a she.
I wonder if he likes it. That's
it
true.
could be a he.
That is true.
They are rainbow colors.
Very sexist of me to think that a male can't knit.
Exactly. I can knit up a storm. It's not very good quality, but my grandmother taught me at a very young age.
Huh.
Actually, I doubt I could right now. At one point in my life, I could knit. So we have a listener-submitted story. We definitely want to.
We definitely want to get to that.
We want to get to that. I'm going to go ahead and do it right now.
Do it.
This is from Romania.
Okay.
It's a short story, and it like we said at the beginning of the show, it'd be better if you could see the visual of the sign.
For our Romanian listeners.
For our Romanian listeners.
If they want to have dinner with us, they have to come here.
Yes, they do. And also, if you listen to the show and you want to see this, send us an email. I'll email it to you. You can see the visual as well. Anyhow, this comes to us from Romania. Drivers are warned of drunks in the road in Romania. Road signs warning drivers that intoxicated people may be in the road have been put up as Romania tries to reduce the number of accidents.
There you go.
The sign reads, "Attention, drunks," and shows a reveler crawling along with a bottle in his hand. Petru Antel, the mayor of some town I won't try to pronounce in Romania, said his town has a vibrant nightlife. We are a border town and have lots of cars thundering through here all the time, but we also have a very vibrant nightlife, and the two don't mix. We have had to target drivers because by the time they get to the state, this state, the pedestrians are beyond caring.
I just saw the picture. It's a red triangle,
Yes,
with a man crawling on his knees with a bottle in his hand.
one hand on the ground, one hand on the bottle. and we can't, I wish I could say Romanian, but I can't. Catataniturmentati, which apparently translates to attention drunks.
Attention drunks.
So apparently
That's
they have
a universal symbol now.
apparently they have a lot of drunk people crawling across the street. I never really thought this could be a problem. Maybe I just had this thought. Maybe Romania has a shortage of mobility scooters.
Caution, drunk crossing.
It's a drunk crossing. So thank you to our listener that submitted that story. Yes, that was good.
I like it.
We'll just go right there.
Tell what you said as far as how the sign would be better, how the sign could be made better.
The only thing that would have been better if it had shown the crawling drunk vomiting. A bottle of liquor in one hand and puking on the other hand.
Caution. Toxic still.
Puking drunk. Be like an oil spill. It might cause an accident.
Right.
Apparently the Romanians, I've never known drunks to crawl across the road with a bottle in hand. Apparently in Romania they do things differently.
Even dexterous.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, speaking of drunks, you have another drunk.
Yes, I do. A woman in Blair, Nebraska, had a little bit too much drink, and at least she did realize she was too drunk to drive.
Right.
So that's a good sign. But what was a bad sign? The deputies are on U.S. Highway 75, and they see some erratic driving. They stop, and they find her 14-year-old son driving her and two other minors, aged 14 and 17. She's been arrested and has been charged with 3 counts of child neglect and 1 count of allowing a minor to drive.
Why did the 17 drive? Well, maybe in Nebraska you have to be 18 to drive.
Maybe
so.
so.
In North Carolina, 16 to drive.
Maybe he didn't.
Have a
Maybe it was
license.
too late at night. Maybe they had a curfew.
He didn't have a license.
Maybe he didn't have a license or a permit.
Maybe he'd been drinking.
Maybe all of them have been drinking, and the 14-year-old had been drinking the least.
There you go.
That's what I'm going with, even though we don't know for sure.
We don't.
So
But there was some erratic driving.
there was some erratic driving going on. Yes,
So we don't know if you should blame that on the alcohol that he may or may not have been consuming.
or just inexperience,
Or inexperience.
or possibly both.
There you go.
Well, we're almost out of time. I have to share this one last story.
What's that?
German woman, fearful that a burglar was trying to break into her second-story apartment, called the police when she heard someone coming up to her balcony shortly after midnight. Police discovered the burglar was a man carrying flowers and a bottle of wine who turned out to be her boyfriend, but then he was arrested on an outstanding warrant. He was trying to surprise her with flowers and a bottle of wine, but all went wrong, said the police spokesman. He said the man jumped down from the balcony and tried to escape, but was quickly apprehended and tackled by police. He nevertheless gave the police who were taking him to jail the bottle of wine as a gesture of thanks for the after the arrest.
So she didn't even get the wine.
She didn't get the wine, she didn't get the flowers, and she didn't get to spend the time with her lover.
I bet that's the last time he does that for her.
I bet so. So there you go. That is our show. We appreciate Stuck-with-7. He had to leave. He is in Great Britain, so it's way past his bedtime, but he was tired and had a long day. But he hung out with us for about half the show, and we've had a few other guests come and go, and someone stuck with us since they got here.
We put him to sleep.
We put him to
sleep.
We did put them to sleep. So see you guys next week, and we'll talk to you later. Have a good weekend.
This has been Blog Talk Radio's The Incoherent Ramblings of C&E. Christopher and Eric are your hosts, and we would like to thank you for listening to our show today. Don't forget to tune in for next week's show, live from Greensboro, North Carolina, as we are every Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time.